Castles are often seen as symbols of wealth and power from a time when kings and queens ruled over their people with an iron fist. But what did they really do? In medieval Europe, a castle's main purpose was to protect its inhabitants from attack. To achieve this, they were designed with a number of defensive features that made it difficult for invaders to get inside. So if the castle wasn't meant to be comfortable, who was it built for? And why do we still find them so fascinating today? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to our channel where we bring history to life. Today, we're going to talk about the amazing structures that were built during the Middle Ages. These buildings were not just homes for royalty, but important defensive structures in times of war. We'll discuss the different elements that made up a medieval castle and how they worked together to keep the inhabitants safe. You will discover how these impressive structures were built and what life was like inside them. Now let's go back in time to explore the world of medieval castles. A medieval castle was a structure that served primarily as a military installation and only secondarily as a residence for its lord and his family. Its primary purpose was to defend against external threats such as other armies or rival lords. The castle also provided a secure place for people to live and work while providing some level of protection from animals and natural disasters. Castles were typically built on elevated positions such as hills or cliffs, which made them harder to attack and allowed the defenders to have a better view of the surrounding area. They were also often built near water sources such as rivers or lakes, which provided the inhabitants with fresh water for drinking and other domestic uses. Furthermore, many castles were constructed near major roads or crossroads, which allowed them to be easily reached by the lord's troops and retainers. This strategic positioning ensured that the castle was easily defended and accessible to those who needed it. In addition, the location of a castle could also provide natural defenses. For example, a castle built near a river or lake could use the water as a moat, making it more difficult for enemies to approach. Similarly, a castle built on a hill or cliff could use its natural elevation to its advantage, making it harder for attackers to scale the walls. Ultimately, the location of a medieval castle was a crucial part of its design and construction. And the lords who built them carefully considered the strategic implications of each site before beginning and construction. If you are enjoying this video, please hit the thumbs up button now and don't forget to subscribe. It is free and helps us grow. You can also consider supporting us through donations. Link is in description below. Thank you. When planning a castle, several key elements must be taken into account. First, the castle should be located in a defensible position, such as on a hilltop or near water. This makes it difficult for attackers to approach and provides the defenders with a vantage point. Second, the size of the castle should be appropriate for its intended use. A small castle may be suitable for a minor noble, while a larger castle may be necessary for a powerful lord or king. Third, the materials used to build the castle should be strong and durable. Stone and brick were popular choices as they could withstand attacks from siege engines and firearms. Fourth, the castle should have a strong and secure entrance, usually a gatehouse, which can be protected by a drawbridge or portcullis. Finally, the castle should be designed to facilitate defense. This includes features such as high walls, towers and turrets, and murder holes, which allow defenders to attack enemies while remaining safe themselves. By taking all of these elements into account, builders can create a castle that is both formidable and functional. Castles were built to last, and their thick walls and sturdy construction meant that they could withstand attacks from enemy forces. The layout of the castle was designed to maximize defense, with high walls, towers and turrets and features like murder holes to pour boiling oil or hot sand on attackers. The castle's location was also carefully chosen, often on a hilltop or near water, making it difficult for enemies to approach. Castles were also equipped with various weapons and tools to defend against enemy attacks. This included bows and arrows, catapults and trebuchets to hurl projectiles at enemy forces, and cannons to fire upon approaching armies. Castles were also designed to withstand prolonged sieges, with features such as deep moats to prevent enemy forces from entering the castle grounds and provisions stored within the castle walls to sustain the defenders for long periods. The combination of these factors made medieval castles incredibly formidable structures, capable of withstanding even the most determined attacks. Now let us take a closer look at some of the key elements of a castle's design and construction. First, the outer wall. This was the first line of defense and was usually made of stone, brick or wood. The outer wall was designed to be as tall and thick as possible to prevent enemy forces from scaling it or breaking it down. It also had features such as crenellations to protect archers and other defenders from enemy arrows. Second, the gatehouse. This was the main entrance to the castle and was usually located in the center of the outer wall. The gatehouse contained a portcullis, a heavy grating that could be lowered to block the entrance. It also had features such as a drawbridge, a movable bridge that could be raised or lowered to allow entry to the castle. Third, the moat. This was a deep, wide ditch that surrounded the castle and was often filled with water. The moat made it difficult for enemy forces to approach the castle and also served as a way to detect approaching enemies. Fourth, the keep. This was the central tower of the castle, usually located at the top of the highest hill within the castle grounds. The keep served as a residence for the lord of the castle and his family and also as a place of refuge in times of attack. It was usually the last area to fall in an attack on the castle. Fifth, the towers and turrets. These were small, square or round structures that were built along the top of the outer wall. They provided defenders with a vantage point from which to attack enemy forces and also helped to strengthen the overall structure of the castle wall. Some towers had special functions, such as holding the castle's main engine or serving as a prison. Overall, the design of a medieval castle was a complex and carefully considered undertaking. Each element of the castle's structure was designed to contribute to the overall defense of the castle and to make it as formidable as possible against enemy attack. Castles weren't just built for defense, though. They also served as residences for the nobles who lived there. The castle would have had living quarters for the nobility and their families, as well as servants and staff. These areas would have been furnished with items appropriate to the status of the residence, such as beds, chairs, tables, and chests. In addition to the residential areas, castles would have also included facilities such as kitchens, stables, and workshops. The kitchens would have been large rooms with fireplaces or hearths used for cooking meals for the residents and their guests. Stables would have been used for housing horses and other livestock, and workshops would have been used for various crafts such as blacksmithing or carpentry. So the next time you see a picture of a majestic medieval castle, remember that it was more than just a symbol of wealth and power. It was a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the architects and builders who designed and constructed these amazing structures, from the location to the layout. Every aspect of a castle was carefully planned to ensure the safety and well-being of its inhabitants.